Hey, say, what do you like to do in your free time? Some people enjoy golfing, some go to the gym, and some make poorly drawn educational YouTube videos. But Pliny the Elder liked to spread misinformation on the world's first encyclopedia. His most well-known and sole-surviving work is Historia Naturalis, or Natural History. It was a 37-volume collection of basically all the knowledge the Romans had about the natural world. In it, Pliny writes basically about everything that exists and that he'd like to exist, including cosmology, geography, anthropology, zoology, botany, agriculture, medicine, and minerals. So the writings weren't all kooky nonsense, it had a decent amount of actual facts in them, but that's all boring and stuff. Rather, let's talk about the Panoti, a strange race of people who live in the all-year silence somewhere around the modern-day Ukraine. These people have bizarrely large ears that are so huge that they use them as blankets to shield their bodies against the chills of the night. But it gets better. So you know how when you were a kid you would draw a moose or a deer, something like this? Yeah, so that's pretty much what Pliny thought exists, just even worse. This is Achilles, and no, those legs aren't just badly drawn. His rear legs actually had no joints. It looked somewhat like an elk, though of course more nightmarish. It had a massive upper lip because, why wouldn't he? As I said, back legs, no joints, forcing it to sleep standing up or leaning against a tree, and that's exactly how hunters would get them. Just tip them over on their side and watch them try to stand up with brooms for legs. Speaking of being able to defend yourself from hunters, did you know that since Bonasso's horns bend backwards, it has to resort to an alternative method of defense, which is running away and ejecting burning feces on those who chase you. He also wrote about mermaids and their sightings, most notably one from the Roman region of Gaul. Locals were claiming that there were mermaids in their waters, or as they called them, nereids, or sea nymphs. But it wasn't all his girlfriend from another school equivalent to animals. He also had some ideas for more practical, daily situations. Like when he concluded that rubbing mouse poop on your bald head can restore your shiny long hair. Ashes of earthworms could prevent your hair from turning gray. He recommended brushing one's teeth with ground mummy. Pliny described petrified shark teeth as glossopetre, tongue stones. To be fair though, if tongues could become stones, I'd imagine that's what they look like. He also had some beef with octopi. He wrote, "No animal is more savage in causing the death of a man in the water." He recommended treating a scorpion's bite by consuming the animal's ashes in a glass of wine. Now that's some badass stuff. This is my favorite. According to him, bear cubs are born as shapeless lumps of white flesh that must be gradually licked into shape by their mothers. Now if I were a bear mother, I'd lick them into something more like this. But I'm also glad that bears don't look like this. Otherwise my Saturday stroll in the bush would look much different. Pliny also said that everyone bitten by a mad dog should have their wound cut open and covered with raw veal, which is young male cow's meat. The patient should then eat a diet of lime and hog fat and drink a concoction made with wine and boiled badger crab. "Honey, I'm home." "Hey honey, the feces are already on the table. Go dig in while they're still hot." He mentioned that pounded basil if covered by a stone breeds a scorpion, and it's chewed and left in the sun breeds worms. He had a bunch more, but the video can go on forever, so let's talk about how Pliny died. So this guy was chilling on the Roman fleet when he saw a weird cloud. Now, if you're a history buff, you'll know that seeing weird-shaped dark clouds in the distance is not a good sign. But not our man Pliny. No, he decided that he needed to get a closer look. So off he goes on his little scientific expedition, but then he gets a note from his friend Rectina. She's stuck at the foot of Mount Vesuvius with no way out except by the sea. Oh, and if you didn't get by this point, Mount Vesuvius was erupting. So Pliny, being the idealistic guy that he is, decides to turn his sightseeing trip into a rescue mission. Now here's where things get dicey. As they're approaching the mountain, all sorts of stuff start falling into the ships. Ashes, burning rocks, telemarketers, you name it. The sea pulls back, threatening to strand them, and the huge chunks of lava rolling down from the mountain and blocking the shore. But does Pliny turn back? Nope. He keeps going, dictating his observations to an assistant like he's narrating a nature documentary. Unfortunately, this story doesn't have a happy ending. Pliny didn't make it out alive, but he sure left quite a story for me to make a YouTube video about. So there you have it, folks. Subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed.